Pro-Life Primetime News. Today is April 7th, and for most Christians, it's Good Friday. I'm Leslie Palma.
And I'm Teresa Watson. Thank you for joining us. In our top story tonight, we will report on the results of the high-stakes race for a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court and explain how the outcome can impact abortion in the state.
We'll also report on the latest move to protect babies in Florida and the politicians who were arrested protesting the bill. And we'll tell you about a lawsuit filed as a last-ditch effort to save abortion businesses in Utah.
Finally, we'll introduce you to Eddie Perez of Vans for Life and Jessica Deese of Coastal Choice Pregnancy Center and take you on board a mobile ultrasound van. You won't want to miss this story. Wisconsin Supreme Court seems likely to reverse the law currently protecting babies in the state from abortion after voters on Tuesday elected liberal Milwaukee judge Janet Protasiewicz to fill a vacancy on the 7-seat court. Protasiewicz was elected to a 10-year term after defeating Daniel Kelly, a conservative who formerly served on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
The race was the most expensive judicial contest in history, with approximately $40 million spent. Millions of dollars from out of state helped fund Protasiewicz's campaign. The Wisconsin Supreme Court has tilted conservative since 2008, but liberals now will have a 4-3 majority.
During her campaign, Protasiewicz was open about her support for abortion, but has declined to say how she would rule on an abortion law crafted in 1849, a year after Wisconsin became a state. The law bans all abortions except those needed to save the life of the mother.
A legal challenge to the law filed by Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers and Attorney General Josh Kaul will have oral arguments in a county court next month. The case is expected to ultimately wind up before the state Supreme Court. The Washington Post reported that at Protasiewicz's victory party in Milwaukee, the 3 liberals who sit on the court marched into the hotel ballroom arm in arm to the singer Lizzo's song About Damn Time. In his concession speech, Kelly said, "I wish Wisconsin the best of luck because I think it's going to need it." The Florida Senate on Monday passed the Heartbeat Protection Act that would protect babies from abortion at about 6 weeks. No Democrats voted for the bill, and in fact, 2 were arrested at a protest in Tallahassee. Nikki Fried, chairwoman of the Florida Democratic Party, and Senator Lauren Book were arrested with 9 others at an Occupy Tally rally in the state capitol. Police said they had violated a curfew established after the city manager ordered the plaza cleared. Both are charged with trespassing. Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to sign the Heartbeat bill when it reaches his desk. Florida's current 15-week cutoff makes it the only state in the Southeast that allows abortion that late into pregnancy. Many states in the region have outlawed nearly all abortion. Aerosmith singer Steven Tyler has filed papers in response to a lawsuit filed by former Silent No More Awareness Campaign member Julia Holcomb, who charged him with sexual assault when she was a minor and he was her legal guardian. Tyler's attorney said Ms. Holcomb does not deserve damages stemming from the relationship they began when she was 16 and he was 25, and that ended not long after he coerced her into having an abortion at 5 months. In court filings, Tyler's attorney said the singer's actions while he was the teenager's legal guardian were, quote, legitimate, good faith, justified, non-discriminatory, or non-retaliatory. Aerosmith recently canceled the remaining dates in its Las Vegas residency due to Tyler's ongoing medical problems. A federal court last week struck down a provision of a California law that threatened the right of pro-lifers to exercise their First Amendment rights on public sidewalks outside abortion businesses. A law signed by Governor Gavin Newsom in 2021 criminalized speech and other First Amendment activities outside any vaccination site, including Planned Parenthood and other abortion facilities that dispense Gardasil and other vaccines for sexually transmitted infections. The California-based Life Legal Defense Fund challenged the law, with the court ruling that it violates both the First and 14th Amendments. Last week, Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives reintroduced the Women's Health Protection Act, a radical bill that would allow abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy in all 50 states and would do away with every abortion-related law at every level of government. Laws that would be rendered moot include parental notification laws and conscience rights. This year's version of the bill includes new provisions that would allow women to cross state lines to have an abortion and protect people who help women have abortions. On Wednesday, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed a law invalidating the state's near-total abortion ban from 1931. Wearing Planned Parenthood pink, Whitmer asked supporters who would like to see me slay a zombie before signing the bill. The law that took effect briefly after Roe v. Wade was overturned already was blocked by court order, but Whitmer said she didn't want it to come back and haunt Michigan residents. Right to Life of Michigan President Barbara Listing said the elimination of protections for the unborn was, quote, a dark day for the state. Washington state has spent more than $1.2 million to hoard the abortion drug mifepristone. Awaiting a ruling from a federal judge in Texas that could take mifepristone off the market, Governor Jay Inslee, a Democrat, ordered the state's correction department to use its pharmacy license to buy 30,000 doses of the deadly pill. Inslee hopes the purchase is enough to cover 3 years of chemical abortions in the state. With a law set to go into effect next month that would bar abortion facilities from operating in Utah, Planned Parenthood has gone to court to try to block the law. The case is in front of a judge who already has blocked another pro-life law. Currently, abortion is legal until 18 weeks in Utah. And that's abortion in the news.
Donald Trump, the former president and frontrunner for the 2024 Republican nomination, pleaded not guilty Tuesday to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records after an investigation into hush money paid to a porn star. Trump, who has called the charges politically motivated, held his fist in the air in a gesture to reporters as he departed Trump Tower. Heading to Lower Manhattan Courthouse, Trump posted on Truth Social while he was in the car. Seems so surreal. Wow, they are going to arrest me. Can't believe this is happening in America. MAGA! Exclamation point. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg wrote in the indictment, the people of the state of New York allege that Donald J. Trump repeatedly and fraudulently falsified New York business records to conceal crimes that hid damaging information from the voting public during the 2016 presidential election. Manhattan is home to the country's most significant business market. The prosecution reportedly wants this to go to trial in January 2024. The defense apparently moved to put this off, but the judge says he wants to move expeditiously. The next in-person court meeting was set for December 4th by Justice Juan Merchan, who Trump has said in social media post hates him. After an hour in the courtroom, Trump left, still showing little emotion and not responding to a question from a reporter outside. He quickly headed for the safety of his Secret Service motorcade en route back to Florida, where he spoke to a crowd at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach. I never thought anything like this could happen in America, Trump said from his Florida home. The only crime I've committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson says he's running for president in 2024, offering himself as an alternative for Republicans ready to turn the party away from Donald Trump. I'm confident that people want leaders that want the best for America, not those who appeal to their worst instincts. This week, Hutchinson told ABC in an interview that aired Sunday. He said he would make a formal announcement in April in Arkansas. I have made a decision, and my decision is I'm going to run for president of the United States. Hutchinson, 74, left office in January after 8 years as governor. He has ramped up his criticism of the former president in recent months, calling another Trump presidential nomination the worst scenario for Republicans, and saying it would likely benefit President Joe Biden's chances in 2024. In addition to Trump, Hutchinson's plan joins a Republican field that also includes former U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to jump into the race in the summer, while U.S. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are among those considering bids. And that's political news in a nutshell. We were so blessed last week to welcome a visitor from San Antonio, Texas, to our office. Eddie Perez is the president and CEO of Vans for Life, an organization that raises funds to convert passenger vans into mobile pregnancy centers.
With Eddie was Jessica Deese, Executive Director of Coastal Choice Pregnancy Centers in DeLand and New Smyrna Beach in Florida. She drove here in one of the converted vans, so we'll all get to take a look at it. I'll talk with Eddie.
And I'll introduce you to Jessica. Then we'll tour the van. Stay tuned.
Well, I'm very happy to introduce you to a VIP visitor we have here with us today. This is Eddie Perez from San Antonio, Texas, from Vans for Life and a Woman's Haven Pregnancy Center.
Yes.
Welcome, Eddie. What brings you to Florida?
Yeah, well, I was going to a pro-life conference, and I reached out to Father Frank because I told him that next time I was in the area, I would stop by. So, I'm excited to take a look at the facility.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you here, and we're going to have a van, one of your vans here. But first,
Yes.
Tell us about Vans for Life.
Yeah, so it kind of came to fruition out of the success we had with our van locally in San Antonio. So one of the things I did when I came on board as president of a Woman's Haven was I wanted to figure out, okay, what's the best strategy to help these women? And what I was able to kind of calculate was that the majority of pregnancy centers were 2, 3, 5, 10 miles away from the abortion facilities. So I thought, well, that doesn't make sense. Why are we not right there? Because we know that 90% of all women who go into an abortion facility will have an abortion. But 90% of women who go into a pregnancy center will keep the baby. So it's literally a chase to see which one of us can get the girl first, right? So we have to be right there. And so I moved our local office where we were, which was about 5 miles away from the abortion facility, right across the street. And so immediately we went from seeing about 200 girls a year to about 1,400. So it dramatically increased.
Wow.
So I knew that was going to work. So we signed a 3-year lease, and about a year later, the abortion facility didn't like what we were doing, so they moved. And I thought, okay, but I'm in a 3-year lease. What do I do? And so I thought, okay, in the future, what are we going to do about that? As these abortion facilities, they have the ability and the money and the finances. They can move wherever they want. The local pregnancy centers really can't, right? So I thought, I wonder if there's a way to be able to be mobile, have a pregnancy center, and it be in a mobile vehicle. And I found an organization that was able to help us get a mobile pregnancy center. And so we took that van and we parked it in front of 2 abortion facilities that were in our city. So we had really, really good success with that. In about a year and a half, we saved about 800 babies from being aborted. Yeah. And then one of the abortion facilities, we had taken away so much of the revenue that they had to shut down. So they closed down.
Hallelujah.
So I thought, okay, this works, right? So I thought, okay, well, why can't we do this in every city? You know, San Antonio is not unique. Why can't we do this all over the country? And I found that getting vans converted was a very difficult process. A lot of organizations would have, 15-month waits, 21-month waits. And so I was like, okay, there's got to be a better way. So I was able to find a van conversion company that is able to convert up to 100 vans a year, which is incredible, as long as there's financing and there's a demand for it. So we contracted with them and we decided, okay, we're going to launch 8 vans. And so that was our goal. So in late last year, we launched our very first van in Daytona Beach, Florida. And we have 7 other vans that are in production that'll be ready next month.
Oh, fantastic.
So only one of them is accounted for. So the other 6 are available for purchase from any pro-life groups who are interested in getting a van. They're about $155,000. We offer a $10,000 grant, sometimes more, to try to help the pregnancy centers purchase the van. And then, of course, we can help them with fundraising and training as well. The exciting news is that not yesterday, the day before was the first day that our first van was on the sidewalk. And within 30 minutes, they saved a baby. Wow. So it was almost instant.
That's amazing. That's the one in Daytona Beach?
Daytona Beach.
And that's the one, that van is actually coming here. We're going to have a chance to get a look at it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we're real excited about that. We're real excited about launching the rest of the
All right, so if
vans.
someone out there hears that these vans are available, how do they get in touch with you?
Just vansforlife.org.
Vansforlife.org.
Yeah,
That's easy enough.
and my contact information is there. You can reach out to me. You can call me, send me an email, and we'll do a conference call, get together, and kind of go over the details.
Well, that's fantastic. But now that Texas has basically gotten rid of abortion, what kind of people or what kind of women are coming to the Women's Haven now? What sort of help are they looking for?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So a lot of people think that because Roe versus Wade was overturned, there's no more abortion, which is not true. Every state now can determine if they're going to have abortions or not.
Right.
Texas no longer has abortions.
That's a wonderful sentence, isn't it?
Yes, that's great, but the abortion industry has deep pockets. And what we found out was that a lot of girls would come to us and tell us that the abortion facilities were paying them to travel to New Mexico to have an abortion. So, of course, we would talk to them and talk to them about their different options. And again, 90% of them would end up choosing life. But I thought about that, and I've always thought that the abortion industry was in it for the money until I heard about this. How do they make money by giving money to girls? And I realized they're not in it for the money. They're in it to kill babies. That's their priority, right? So they have unlimited funding. They could ask for $20, $50, $100 million, and they'll get a check the next day. So they can do whatever they want. So we didn't really know this when we had the concept of launching these vans, but now that the decisions have come down, we realize now how important the vans are, because the vans can go to these different states. So, for example, in North Dakota, they're going to be getting a van. Well, they were purchasing it to be in front of their local abortion facility with the local pregnancy center. But then North Dakota is now abortion free.
Right. So that abortion place moved to Minnesota.
That's correct.
Right?
And then on the other side went to South Dakota to a abortion facility. So now North Dakota Right to Life, who's getting the van, now they have the ability to just go 20 minutes away in the van into Minnesota, and now they're in front of that abortion facility.
Oh, fantastic.
And then about 6 months ago, we learned that the abortion industry, they also are launching vans.
Yes.
So I thought, oh my gosh, right?
It's going to be the battle of the
They
vans.
must have heard about Vans for Life. Right? So we thought, okay, great, you're going to have vans. You know what? We can follow you anywhere you go. So it's much more obviously flexible than a brick and mortar.
Definitely. Well, it's going to be interesting on the road.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming here and for
course.
chatting with our viewers.
Of course.
I'm looking forward to seeing the van.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hello, I have with me tonight Jessica Deese, the Executive Director of Coastal Choices Women's Clinic. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Hi, Teresa. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
That's absolutely my pleasure.
Yeah, so we've got some exciting things to talk about, but first tell me about the Pregnancy Center and how you operate there.
Yeah, so I work as the Executive Director at Coastal Choices Women's Clinic. We are under the umbrella of Grace House Pregnancy Center. We are going into our 23rd year of operation, and we serve Volusia County and Greater Central Florida. So we exist to empower women in crisis pregnancies to choose life for their unborn baby.
Nice. So give me a few statistics. On an average, say, week, how many women do you see?
We have 3 clinics. We have our mobile clinic, and we have 2 brick and mortar clinics, one in DeLand, Florida, and one in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, so the east and the west side of the county. And so between the 2, average in a week, we see anywhere between 24 and 35 women.
Wow. And how many, I don't want to put you on the spot, but say over a year's time, say last year, how many women's minds were you able to change?
Last year we saw over 1,000 women, and our average is 77% of those women choose life for their unborn.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow, well, congratulations. That's a great number. So now what we really want to talk about is this new mobile unit you mentioned. So tell me about that.
So we are so excited for our new mobile medical clinic. Actually, just this week, we were able to go out to a nearby abortion clinic for the first time and be curbside. And so our team of 4, which includes our driver and our nurse and 2 sidewalk advocates, will go out, and they have a loving approach that we partnered with Sidewalk Advocates for Life to approach women who are going into the abortion clinic seemingly having already made up their mind. and we just break the ice and show them that we love them and we're concerned, and we just really want to make sure that they have all the information prior to walking into that clinic and coming back out, changed and not being able to go back and redo that decision. So we had incredible results this last week. Within the first hour of being there, we served 15 women, and one of those women changed her mind and left, decided that she did want to parent her baby, and she said she had no idea what she was walking into making the appointment at the abortion clinic, and she was so happy to connect with us, and she allowed us to pray for her and with her, and then hopefully we'll continue to walk with her through that journey and prepare her to be a mom and do parenting classes with her and Bible studies, really just get to pour into her and so that she feels loved and valued the way that the Lord sees her.
Yeah, so the work at the pregnancy centers it's amazing. I visited a local pregnancy center here, I guess about a couple of weeks ago, and it just amazes me the number of resources and the amounts of programs that you have. So great work. So tell me, how did you get the van? How did that all come about?
So we as a ministry decided that we really felt called for expansion, and we weren't feeling called to open another brick and mortar center. And so we had kind of heard a little bit about the mobile vans and what they were doing, but we knew from the beginning that we really believed that God wanted us to do something different than what most of the clinics with vans were doing. And so we started the research process, and a couple of the companies that we had inquired with and started the process, it fell through. And so we kind of felt discouraged and knocked back on our high knees. And we're like, where do we go? What do we do from here? Mm-hmm. We really believed that the Lord was calling us to go out to the abortion clinics. These women are women that are never coming to our brick and mortar center, and they're women that it feels like they've been forgotten about, and they're not actually being given the choice to choose life for their baby. And so then I randomly got an email from Eddie Perez with Vans for Life. Yes. And it was really funny because when I got it, I was thinking vans, like shoes. Yes. And I was like, why are they emailing me about shoes? And I was like, oh, they're going to, participate in pro-life activities, and found out shortly after his heart to have vans out in front of every abortion clinic for the same reason that we felt led to get a van. And so it just started rolling from there. And there was a lot of barriers that we believe Satan kept trying to keep the van from happening, but Eddie and his team came through and were able to just provide that blessing of the van. And here we are now, a year later, with it custom outfitted and having already saved one life in the last 24 hours. Wow,
that's crazy. And it's funny that you said that, because I thought the same thing about vans, because we have one of our pastoral associates who deals with our youth, Brian Kemper. He wears vans all the time, so he's always showing them off. Yes. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to put pro-life messages on the shoes.
Yes, that's what I thought.
So I was much happier to find out that it's vans on the road. So
I was very excited.
So you park outside of Planned Parenthood, outside of abortion mills. Do you have to get permits? I mean, where do you park? How does all that work?
So I don't want to speak for, every state. So I can speak for our city and our county and, what our kind of guidelines and parameters are. And we operate under our business license, for our brick and mortar clinics. And the clinic that we chose to be at, that we felt led to right now, is one that there is great barriers, and other clinics have pulled out because there's so many barriers and it's difficult to reach these women. And so they're actually using a shuttle parking lot, which is a couple miles away from the clinic. So that's where the women meet, and then they shuttle them in. So we were able to get access to the parking lot and park right next to it, and be able to reach these women prior to their Uber ever even showing up to take them to the clinic.
Okay, great. So now you told me you drive this van.
I do.
All right. Well, is it difficult?
Not at all. No? I don't drive it out every day. Mm-hmm. I only take it, occasionally. We do have a driver, and he manages the mobile clinic and everything, and he's incredible. But it is very easy to drive. I tell my husband all the time, it's actually my favorite thing to drive.
Well, we're really excited because we are going to be able to see the van. Yes. You're going to take us to see the van. Yes. So, how did you get the funding for it? How did that work?
We had a gala fundraiser that we have every year, and we just shared the vision, and within 4 months we were fully funded, and we just continued to share the vision with our community of supporters and churches, and then they shared and shared and shared, and everybody was so generous and came forward. Like I said, within 4 months we were fully funded for it. Wow. People are very passionate about not having those barriers of just, waiting for women to come to us, even with marketing efforts, but just going where abortions are happening, going where these women are and reaching them.
Absolutely. Well, do you have any advice for other pregnancy centers that might want to do this? Do they just contact Eddie Perez directly, or does he choose where he wants to be? How does that work?
I would highly encourage every pregnancy center. I share the vision with Eddie that I believe that there should be a van out in front of every abortion clinic. And I believe that great change can happen, even more so to take the pregnancy ministry work further. It's a difficult battle. It's not for the faint of heart, but we know that we're in the Lord's army, and we experienced that on Wednesday. So I would say do it. Obviously pray and meet with your leadership team, and if you felt led, at least open up a conversation and contact Eddie directly at Vans for Life.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. But I really I love talking to you, but I'm really excited to go see the van. So
yes,
can we go do that?
Let's do it. Let's go see it.
Great. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. My name is Jessica Deese, and I serve as the Executive Director of Coastal Choices Women's Clinic. We're a local pregnancy care clinic offering services to women in unplanned pregnancies. We offer ultrasounds, STI testing, and biblical counseling for women to empower them to choose life for their unborn children. Our van here is a van that we purchased from Vans for Life, and we use this van to go out to women at abortion clinics, and we offer them the choice and the opportunity to hear about all of their pregnancy options. We have the van fully fitted inside with an ultrasound machine, a restroom, a TV, as well as a comfortable counseling area. We have a partition that separates the front of the van from the back of the van, so that when we have a woman and her partner, that we can offer them privacy to speak with them and just get to know them and counsel them separately. We give women the opportunity to see their baby and bond with their baby on the ultrasound. The ultrasound machine you'll see here shortly is connected to a large screen TV. So as she's laying there and hearing the heartbeat and having the procedure done, she's able to see in big real time her unborn baby. We also refer women, once we meet them and they've made the choice to parent or make an adoption plan, we refer them to local area pregnancy centers where they can get continued support with parenting classes, education, Bible studies, and continued support with biblical counseling as well. Let's go ahead and go inside and take a look. So when a woman comes in, this is where she'll have her ultrasound done. Behind me and through this door, there's a fully furnished restroom to where we can do the pregnancy tests. And this is the exam table where she will have the ultrasound done and the ultrasound machine. So the nurse that is on the van will perform the ultrasound in the event that she has, the father of the baby with her, or if she has her mom or, somebody who's accompanied her and they'd like privacy. We have these privacy drapes right here that we can let down and give her privacy during the exam as well. So everything's very warm and welcoming and inviting in here. Neutral colors. It kind of promotes just that sense of calm and peacefulness. Everything is memory foam, comfortable. We have seating here in the event that she, like I said, brings somebody with her. We also have seating right over here in front of me, as well as a TV that our ultrasound machine transmits to. So once she has an image of her baby and she's lying here comfortably, she can just look straight forward and she can see the image of her baby on the screen and then hear the heartbeat as well. If you know someone in an unplanned or crisis pregnancy, or you're experiencing unplanned or crisis pregnancy yourself, you can go to coastalchoices.org to make an appointment or to contact someone directly today. If you'd like to support us in our mission to help women choose life for their unborn, then you can go to gracehouse4life.org.
When we opened the show, we said that today is Good Friday for most of the world's Christians, so I just wanted to touch on that briefly. Western churches, like the Catholic Church, will celebrate Easter this Sunday, April 9th, while Eastern churches will celebrate on April 16th.
The reason for the different dates is that the churches use different calendars. The Orthodox Church uses an ancient Julian calendar, a solar calendar, that adds an extra day every 4 years. The Catholic Church uses the Gregorian calendar, which was introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582, and that subtracts an extra day the Julian calendar adds every 128 years.
You know, before I came to Priests for Life, I wrote about religion for a newspaper in New York City, and I had to explain this calendar business every year, and it still confuses me. But a really exciting thing for religion writers is when the calendars agree and all the world's Christians celebrate on the same day. The last time that happened was 2017, and it'll happen again in 2025. So thank you so much for joining us on Pro-Life Primetime News, produced at Priests for Life headquarters in Titusville, Florida. We hope you will tune in every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
We hope you will support this show and all of our broadcasts by making a donation to prolifegift.org. These donations help fund all of our work here at Priests for Life, which enables us to continue educating, equipping, and activating God's people to end abortion. Wishing you a blessed and holy Easter, I'm Teresa Watson, Executive Manager.
I'm Leslie Palma, Communications Director. Remember, life is the only choice.